Hello everyone. Now in this video what I'll be doing is worksheet 2. This will be a two-part video where I'm going to work numbers 1 to 12. Then I'll be working the remaining questions in a separate video, so look forward to that. Now we're starting with the dot product. So we're going to find the dot product of some of the questions that will be given. And in this area here, what I actually have is simply an outline of exactly what we'll be doing. So given here's a sub x with a sub y and b sub x, b sub y, in order to actually solve for the dot product, what we'll be doing is simply having a sub x times b sub x, and we're adding that to a sub y, b sub y. So here we actually have the very first question where we have u is equal to minus 5, minus 4, and v is equal to minus 8, minus 6. So in beginning, what we actually would have, let me just adjust the view. Yes, what we actually have is u dot v is equal to, so our x's would be minus 5 times minus 8, and we're going to add this to 4 times a minus 6. And what is going to give us is 40, negative, 5 times 8, 40, and we have 6 times minus 6 times 4, which is going to give me minus 24. So here the answer is going to be 16. Now, as this is going to be reviewed, I'll be adjusting how much of the pen I make use of. As you notice, I'm using OneNote for this. So here's our second question, finding the dot product. Here we have u dot v. I think I'm going to stick with this one. So for our x's, we have minus 5 times minus 8, and we're going to have that multiplying, added to minus 6 times minus 9. So minus 5 times minus 8 is going to give me 40, plus minus 6 times minus 9, negative, positive, so we have 54. And here 40 plus 54 is going to give me 94. So moving on to number 3, here we have u dot v, and this is going to be equal to 7 times 4 plus 5 times minus 5. So 7 times 4 is going to give me 28. 5 times minus 5 is going to give me minus 25. Thus my answer here will be 3. Number 4. As you notice, the dot product is fairly simple to solve. So again, just remember that it's x's multiplied, add, and you're adding it to the multiplication of the y values. So here we have it with our i's and our j's. So simple reminder, I is in relation to the x axis and j is in relation to the y axis. So with that being said, we have minus 3 times 1 plus 5 times 6. So minus 3 times 1 is minus 3, plus 6 times 5, which is 30. So here we have minus 3 plus 30, which is going to give me 27. Well, I like to put my 7 with a little stroke across. So here we have number 5. So u dot v is equal to 8 times minus 4 plus a minus 8 times a minus 6. So this is equal to 8 times minus 4. 8 fours is 32. We have negative. So we have negative, negative, and negative. So this is going to give me a positive. 8 sixes 48. And with that being said, minus 32 plus 48 is going to give me 16. Great, and now we're at number 6. This will be the last dot product question. So u dot v is equal to minus 8 times a minus 2 plus minus 8 times minus 2. What it's going to give me is 8 times 2 is 16. Negative and negative is going to give me positive. Here we have plus. Minus 8 times minus 2. 8 times 2 is 16. So 16 plus 16 is going to give me 32. Now I'm going to take a little bit of time for this one to go through everything. So in starting, let's just look to this from YouTube. It's a picture. So is it orthogonal? So we're looking at parallel, orthogonal, or neither. I believe this was taken for the Organic Math Tutors YouTube channel, so you should check them up if you actually would like some more practice questions on this. So if theta is equal to 0, or theta is equal to 0, A is, it's parallel. So if theta equals 0 degrees, it is parallel. If theta is equal to 90 degrees, it is orthogonal. And of course, if theta is not 0 or 90, then it's going to be neither. Now, for this here, actually we'll be going through a little bit more. And I believe this is all actually stated on his link. So of course, take the opportunity to actually go there after this video and see how far more he went into this discussion. So we already know, forgive me for my lines, I know they're not going to be 100% parallel. So when the angle is equal to 0 degrees, it's going to be parallel. However, please take note, it can also be, so I'm putting or 180 degrees. And it can also go in opposite directions, meaning this here still qualifies as parallel. Of course, you know this already, so let me just do some labeling here. Right? Good. Now, from what I just showed you, we know that orthogonal, so O-R-T-H-O-G-O-N-A-L, is when it's actually 90 degrees. Generally, it just means that it's perpendicular. P-R-P-E-N-D-I-C-U-L-A-R. Yes, I'm teaching myself to respell. Okay, so I don't know how applicable this is going to be for the course, but just remember that if you're looking at it in radians, it's pi over 2. Good. And now finally, if it's neither parallel or orthogonal, then of course it's going to be neither. Now, certain things I should probably point out. Okay, now what I can, from what I read, it says that if the dot product is equal to 0, then it's orthogonal. And generally speaking, just a simple outline here. Now, I won't be using the angles to actually solve for these. I'll just generally be using the technique that the organic chemistry tutor actually outlined on his channel. I'll try and link the video in this one. So what we're actually looking at is the slope. So we have magnitude of A, so we're going to have AY over AX, and the magnitude of B is going to be BY upon BX. Now, something to generally understand, we are going to look at it in this perspective. We have 2/3 here. Let's say we have minus 3 over 2. So what this generally means is if we have the negative reciprocal, then it's orthogonal. That's exactly what we are doing. If we have the negative reciprocal, it's orthogonal. And if we have the slopes equaling one another, then they are parallel. So if it's not a negative reciprocal or they're equal, then it simply indicates to us that, so again, if you don't have the negative reciprocal or the value of the slopes isn't equal, making it parallel, then our answer is neither. Maybe that's a little bit confusing, so let me just go ahead and actually start solving this. So let's say here, or this is the methodology I'm making use of, magnitude of u. Yeah, I think I rambled on a little bit too long. U is equal to, so we have y over x, so we have 2 over 6. So 2 over 6 is equal to a third. And now we have mv, magnitude v, which is going to be minus 24 over 8. So this is minus 3. So looking at what we actually have here, we have 1/3 and we have minus 3, where since we have the negative reciprocal, so since we have a case of a negative reciprocal, REC, I'm not even sure if I'm spelling this right, then it tells us that these two are orthogonal. Yeah, I know this is a little bit messy, so I won't be doing all this for the other ones. I'll just move into actually solving. So number 8, using our same approach, mu is equal to minus 3 over minus 18. So this is equal to 1 over 6 positive. Notice it's 2 divisions. And then here we have magnitude of v, which is going to be minus 6 over 1, which is going to be equal to negative 6. So since we have the negative reciprocals again, this is orthogonal. So number 9, magnitude of u is going to be 20 divided by 0, which is undefined. And then the magnitude of v, which is going to be 4 divided by 0, which is also undefined. So as a result, they are parallel. A. Good. So moving on now to number 10, magnitude of u is going to be equal to 9 over negative 4, and magnitude of v is equal to 12 over minus 14, which is going to be equal to 6 over minus 7. So this is another area that I would hope person would respond to. Notice how I switched up my division component here. I don't know if persons will be comfortable with seeing this, or if they prefer to actually see this. Alright, so now moving on. Now looking at what we actually have here, we notice that they're not equal and they're not negative reciprocals. So in this case, now we have our first neither option, or neither answer I should actually say. Alright, so just 2 more. So for number 11, we have magnitude of u, and here we have minus 12 over minus 18, which is going to be 2/3. And so let me just write this bigger. Magnitude of v is going to be equal to 9 over minus 2, which is generally just 9 over minus 2. So again, they're not equal to one another, and they're not the negative reciprocals of each other. So this is another neither. And the final one for this video now, so we have the magnitude of u, which is minus 7 over minus 4, which is just 7 over 4. And then we have the magnitude of v, which is going to be 10 divided by minus 35 over 2, which is going to be, I'm going to write it as 20 over minus 35, which is going to give me an answer of negative 4/7. So looking at what I actually have here, it's a negative reciprocal, so it's orthogonal. Alright, so this would be the first 12 questions, and I believe next on the worksheet was angle between two vectors. So I hope this video has found you well, and do enjoy the remainder of your day.